I will be discussing breast cancer. Background information is that breast cancer is from a tumorization in the mammary gland that causes excess cells, and it can cause a lot of pain. This is usually detected with x-ray or via touch. It's mostly in cisgendered women. Common types are carcinoma in situ and invasive carcinoma. Mechanisms are that, for one, there are multiple types that should always be recognized, but it begins with a molecular change, and that leads to tumors, and those tumors can spread to other parts of the body. They are identified and treated based on the type of cancer. The molecular biology of this usually focuses on the estrogen signaling pathway, because that's oftentimes what is causing the tumor, and like issues within the estrogen signaling pathway cause the tumor. So yeah, here we have a graphic of the different molecular subtypes. We have luminal A, B, HER2 positive, basal-like, and normal-like, and this is the scale of like what will have the worst effect. The estrogen signaling pathway. So the estrogen signaling pathway uses estradiol, which will bind to either estrogen receptor alpha or estrogen receptor beta in the cytoplasm. And this is for the genomic pathway. The receptor dimerization is induced, and then the complex is put in, moved to the nucleus, basically, where it binds to ERE sequences near promoters of target genes, and then it activates the nuclear-initiated steroid signaling. The non-genomic pathway uses second messengers, which interact with IGF-R and EGFR, which will stimulate the effector molecules P13K, AKT, and MAPK, and that activates the membrane-initiated steroid signaling. It fails when there is an overexpression of the protein cyclin D1. The cell response is nuclear, and termination is, to the best of my knowledge, through isoforms, although not much information could be found on that. The normal pathway, so this is my illustration of the normal pathway. The parts that could be focused on is this leftmost one, so that E2, that's like the estradiol going into the estrogen receptor. This ER is not endoplasmic reticulum, it's estrogen receptor. And these are the effector molecules. And then it goes to PCREB, and then it goes to the DNA to, do the signaling. And then over here, we have this estrogen receptor going into the nucleus. And then estradiol coming into it right here. This E2 right here going into the estrogen receptor, going with the COA, and going to DNA. And so these are the different, signals. So that was the normal. This is the breast cancer one. So the breast cancer one, you have the luminal A includes the estradiol and progesterone. And with luminal A, the estradiol has a high expression of hormone receptors. So with luminal B, it includes luminal A, but it also has the FGF and the IGF pathways as well. And, those basically lead to proliferation, survival, translation. So they just keep surviving without apoptosis. The HER plus can have an HER2 overexpression, or can have an EGFR overexpression, which will lead to the proliferation. Basal-like / triple negative has a number of different ones, but it has the EGF, which can have an EGFR or a C-KIT overexpression. It has the IGF, the jagged, the delta, and those can have a Notch 1 and Notch 4 overexpression. And they use the Notch signaling pathway. And then there's the WNT, which can have FZD7 overexpression. And all of these basically lead to the pathway just not ending when it needs to. Current treatment methods. So treatment methods, local ones focus on just removing the tumor. So that's like through surgery or radiation, cutting it out, or, killing it with radiation. And there's like the systemic, which is like, overall. And that's like drugs, chemotherapy, hormone therapy, targeted therapy, and immunotherapy. But it's most common for treatment plans to be made for each patient. Thank you.